The New Jersey Legislature is the legislative branch of the government of the U.S. state of New Jersey, in its current form, as defined by the New Jersey Constitution of 1947. The legislature consists of two houses, the General Assembly and the Senate. The legislature meets in the New Jersey State House, in the state capital of Trenton. History: Colonial period. The New Jersey Legislature was established in 1702 upon the surrender by the proprietors of East Jersey and those of West Jersey of the right of government to Queen Anne's government united the two colonies as the province of New Jersey, a royal colony, establishing a new system of government. The instructions from Queen Anne to Viscount Cornbury, the first royal governor of New Jersey, outlined a fusion of powers system, which allowed for an overlap of executive, legislative and judicial authority. It provided for a bicameral legislature consisting of an appointed council and an elected General Assembly. The provincial council consisted of 12 members, appointed by and serving at the pleasure of the British Crown, with the exception of resignations and those being removed for cause. Councillors often served for life. The former provinces of East and West Jersey were reorganized as the Eastern Division and the Western Division, respectively, of the province of New Jersey. Councillors were apportioned that 6 would come from each of the two divisions. In practice, however, this was not always followed. The Assembly initially consisted of 24 members, with 2 each elected in the cities of Burlington and Perth Amboy, and 10 at large from each of the two divisions, as this system proved unwieldy for holding elections. In 1709 the Assembly was reapportioned. Burlington and Perth Amboy would retain the 2 seats each. The town of Salem had 2, and 2 for each of the 9 counties. The number of members remained at 24, with a total of 12 from each division. In his instructions to Governor William Burnet, King George I recommended the reapportionment of Salem seats to the recently formed Hunterdon County. This was passed into law on February 10, 1727/28. Membership continued at 24 until 1768, when it was expanded to 30 by the addition of 2 representatives each from Morris, Cumberland and Sussex counties. This apportionment remained until superseded by the Constitution of 1776. The governor had the authority to summon the legislature, and to dissolve the Assembly and call new elections. On December 6, 1775, Governor William Franklin prorogued the New Jersey Legislature until January 3, 1776, but it never met again. On May 30, 1776, Franklin attempted to convene the legislature, but was met instead with an order by the New Jersey Provincial Congress for his arrest. On July 2, 1776, the Provincial Congress approved a new constitution which ordered new elections. On August 13, an entire new legislature was elected. In 1775, representatives from New Jersey's 13 counties established a provincial congress to supersede the royal governor. In June 1776, this congress had authorized the preparation of the constitution, which was written within 5 days, adopted by the provincial congress, and accepted by the Continental Congress. The Constitution of 1776 provided for a bicameral legislature consisting of a General Assembly with 3 members from each county and a legislative council with 1 member from each county. All state officials, including the governor, were to be appointed by the legislature under this constitution. The vice president of council would succeed the governor if a vacancy occurred in that office. Accordingly, the first session of the legislature convened on August 27, 1776. Legislative politics was defined in the following years by an intense rivalry between the Federalists, and later the Whigs, and the Democratic Party. The New Jersey Constitution of 1844 provided for a direct popular election of the governor, and gave him the power to veto bills passed by the legislature. The General Assembly was expanded to 60 members, elected annually and apportioned to the counties based on population. The Legislative Council was renamed the Senate, and was to be composed of one member from each of the state's 19 counties, serving a 3-year term. During the Civil War, party allegiance became entrenched. Democrats usually won both houses until the Republicans gained control in 1893. A court ruling obtained by the Republicans provided that members of the General Assembly were to be elected from the counties at large, rather than from election districts of unequal population. Regardless of any changes, the legislature met infrequently, had high turnover among its members, and was far from being the most influential or powerful organ of state government. The Constitution of 1947 and modern developments. New Jersey adopted its current constitution in 1947. Under this constitution, the governor was given additional veto powers and the ability to serve 2 terms. Hundreds of independent agencies were consolidated into 20 principal executive departments under the control of the governor. Senators' terms were extended to 4 years, assemblymen's terms to 2 years. In 1966, the Senate was expanded from 21 to 40 members and the General Assembly from 60 to 80. Following a United States Supreme Court decision in 1964 and a New Jersey Supreme Court decision in 1972, the state's legislative districts were reapportioned into the current arrangement. 2 more modern developments have also helped shape the legislature: the increase in importance of legislative committees and the development of longer tenures for the legislative leadership. Organization. Powers. The legislature has the power to enact laws by a majority vote of both houses, subject to the governor of New Jersey's ability to veto a bill. A veto may be overridden by the legislature if there is a 2/3 majority in favor of overriding in each house. By a 3/5 vote of each house, the legislature may propose an amendment to the state constitution. Alternatively, it may propose an amendment by a majority vote 2 consecutive years. In either case, the amendment is placed on the ballot and must be approved in a referendum to become valid as a part of the Constitution. The legislature is also empowered to ratify amendments to the U.S. Constitution, appoint the state auditor, judge the elections and qualifications of its members, and institute and conduct impeachment proceedings against state officials. The Senate has the sole authority to confirm or reject gubernatorial nominees for judicial and some executive positions. Houses, members, and qualifications. The current organization of the legislature is outlined by Article 4 of the New Jersey State Constitution of 1947. The legislature is composed of an 80-member General Assembly and a 40-member Senate. To become a member of the Assembly, an individual must be at least 21 years old, must have resided in the district for 1 year and the state for 2 years, and must live in the represented district. To become a senator, an individual must be 30 years old, must have lived in the district for 2 years and the state for 4 years, and again must live in the represented district. Elections and terms. Unlike elections for most other state legislatures and for the United States Congress, New Jersey legislative elections are held in November of every odd-numbered year. Assemblymen serve 2-year terms, while senators serve 4-year terms, except in the first term of a new decade, which only lasts 2 years. This 2-4-4 cycle was put into place so Senate elections can reflect changes made to district boundaries following the decennial United States Census. If this cycle were not in place, then the boundaries could at times be up to 4 years out of date before being used for Senate elections. Under the current system, the boundaries are only ever 2 years out of date. The New Jersey Constitution provides that each legislature is constituted for a term of 2 years, split into 2 annual sessions. Because the Constitution also specifies that all business from the first year may be continued into the second year. The distinction between the 2 annual sessions is more ceremonial than actual. The 2-year legislative term begins at noon on the second Tuesday in January of each even-numbered year. For example, the 2-year term of the 215th legislative session began on noon on Tuesday, January 10, 2012. At the end of the second year, all unfinished business expires. Service in the legislature is considered part-time, and most legislators have other employment. In New Jersey, legislators may also concurrently hold another elected office at the county or municipal level. The practice, which is frequently referred to as double-dipping, has recently been banned by the legislature. Although the 19 legislators holding multiple offices as of February 1, 2008 were grandfathered into the system, as of January 2013, only 4 legislators remain grandfathered into the system. Leadership: the General Assembly is headed by a Speaker, while the Senate is headed by a President. Each House also has a Majority Leader, a Minority Leader, Assistant Leaders, and Whips. Legislative districts: the members of the New Jersey Legislature are chosen from 40 electoral districts. Each district elects 1 senator and 2 assemblymen. New Jersey is one of only 7 U.S. states in which districts for the upper and lower house of the legislature are coterminous. Districts are redefined decennially by the New Jersey Apportionment Commission following each U.S. census, as provided by Article 4, Section 3 of the state constitution. Current legislature. The sitting legislature is the 215th legislature of the state of New Jersey. Currently, the Democrats are the majority party in both houses. In the Senate there are 24 Democrats and 16 Republicans. There are 48 Democrats and 32 Republicans serving in the General Assembly. Senate. The Senate is the upper house in the New Jersey legislature. Currently, 40 people serve in the Senate for 2 years after redistricting, followed by 4-year terms. General Assembly. The General Assembly is the lower house of the New Jersey legislature. Currently, 80 people are in the New Jersey legislature for 2-year terms.